right off the bat, a lot of new faces, a lot of new names, but some familiar names too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is probably the deepest team I've had in a while. We really brought in some players in the post area, brought in some size and that. So I think by far we're going to be deeper in the post than we have been in years. And as you said, we have Esmery back, we have Carey back, and some of them players, and Blessing. But we've been able to add some size and add some strength in the post.
Do you think you're going to get inside scoring from the bigs that you brought in, or is it going to be?
Well, we need to. I mean, we need to. We have 4 starters back, and we lost our leading scorer, Kaiser. So we cannot afford our guards that are returning, our guards, to try to make up Kaiser scoring. Now, some of them will score a little bit more, but we don't need one guard to make up the 20 points. So we need to look at other ways to score, and we're hoping that we can get that from on the inside.
4 out, thinking, or?
Yeah, we'll run some 4 out. We're also, there's times we'll go big. We'll go Esmery at the 3 and run like a triangle inside that. So we're looking at different combinations. It's going to be, I'm really going to use, we get into scrimmage, we get into some things, I'm going to use some combinations, just see what's the best combination for us. Go big, go small, that type of stuff, because we do have the size and the numbers to go big this year.
Coach, you're talking about, the starters coming back. I mean, Jayla even started some games.
Yes.
So I mean, on paper now, obviously coaches don't just look at what's going on paper, but on paper it looks like you've got a pretty set kind of like starting 5. Is it just a matter of building the depth, the rotation behind them, or is
I may go big. I really don't know, right? I may move Esmery to the 3,
right,
and go big. I like what some of our new players are doing. I mean, I can't teach 6'6".
right?
I can't teach it. So she's doing it. Maya's doing a good job. I think Ari Gray's doing it, and I have some good freshmen. I mean, I have 16 players. Let's be honest. It's going to be hard.
Right.
It's really going to be hard because you want certain people to get a lot of reps with 16 people, but you don't want them just standing over there, and they're going to get frustrated in that. So 16 players is going to be really hard.
How do you keep everybody out?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I think I may look at maybe redshirting some people. I may. I normally don't do that, but with 16 people, I don't know how you keep everybody happy. And we got some quality freshmen, but they have a lot of people ahead of them. Right now that knows what they're doing, and some veterans. So it's just really going to be hard how you mix and match, and if you go big, you go small, whatever.
The way you play defense with the switching and the way you overplayed passing lanes, you never really had a shot blocker. Do you have one this year with these bigs that could help you a little bit with some of the things you do?
I think so. I think so. I've been in this business a long time. Like you said, it looks good on paper.
Yeah.
But until we get into situations, get into stuff, we're doing a lot of teaching right now because we have so many new players, transfers plus the freshmen. So we're doing a lot of teaching, which slows down the veterans. I'll be honest with you. So it's going to be interesting to see who picks stuff up quicker than the other ones and stuff like that.
The flip side of this whole roster thing is obviously, it's been well documented the last few years, the injuries and stuff. You've never had that opportunity to, build a lot of depth because you just didn't have the numbers. Now, obviously, you've come in this year, you've got the numbers. So,
I'm a typical coach. I complain because we don't have numbers. I'm complaining because we do have numbers.
Right.
That's typical coach. But it's all about keeping them happy, and everybody's got to have a role. If there's ever a year that everybody needs to know their role, it's this year. Everybody needs to know their role on this team because not everybody can score a bunch of points. Not everybody can do the same things on this. And people coming off the bench needs to know their role. reason why they're coming into the game. So that's going to be very important.
I imagine you're changing things up like in practice, right? Stuff that you probably couldn't do in the past, numbers wise. You can do some things.
Yeah, we're excited to get started Wednesday, where we can start going 2.5, 3 hours.
Right.
We really need to really get into it to see where we're at.
One role that you don't have this year is Kaiser's outside shooting. Who's going to provide that?
Well, that's going to be the key. Yeah, we have, Jasmine Carson looks good. I mean, she's shooting the ball extremely well, and she's more comfortable right now. You have, Jayla, KK Dean, she looks good. Yet Madison. I mean, you have a lot of veterans. I was kind of disappointed. We had 4 starters back, and we were picked 4th in the league. I was a little bit disappointed in that. But that's good. That's good. You got a lot of new coaches in the league right now. You really don't. So we'll see what happens.
But you're probably going to be preseason top 25, though.
Yeah.
So that's
and 4th in the league. So that's good. That means about 5-6 teams will get into NCAAs, which is good for the league.
What can you tell us about Gray from Xavier? She's a 5th-year player. Was her leading scorer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What can you tell us about her? Do you know much about her yet, or is that still to be determined?
Runs the floor as well as anybody we have. Big time athlete, can run and jump, play the 3 and the 4. Gives you another athlete in the paint that can block shots, can also rebound, can also run the floor. Very quick in the paint. Very quick in the paint. I've been looking at moving Carey some to the 4 instead of the 5 because we are so deep at the 5 right now, which moves Esmeri a little bit once in a while to the 3. So, my philosophy has always been put your best players on the floor, whatever position that is. So whatever is our best at the time players gives us the best opportunity to win is who will be on the floor.
She's a 3. If Esmeri's a 3, you're still going to have her go to the glass. She's such a good rebounder.
Well, that's where it's catch-22 because you're taking her away from the glass zone. So that's why I run certain offenses to keep her closer to the glass.
Okay.
How many combinations do you think you can run?
Man, I don't know. You know what? It's hard. It's hard. It's just hard. It's just a lot of players.
I feel like you can probably adapt to whatever's being thrown at you.
Absolutely. If teams, I think we can match up against the bigger teams this year, and something we couldn't do. We always got in foul trouble and all that. I think that's the other thing. If we get somebody injured or we get in foul trouble, we have some players that come off the bench and can be very productive, unlike what we've had in the past.
It's kind of funny, you're mentioning Carey there a couple seconds ago. Moving her out to the 4 and kind of developing the other parts of her game is something you've kind of tried to do the last couple of years, but you just weren't able to do it. Now she gets into her senior year, and this might be the year where that actually comes to
and
fruition.
she's excited about it.
Yeah.
She is really excited about it, moving out to the 4. And it's funny, she told me, she said, thinks she can stay out of foul trouble being at the 4. I said, you think you'd stayed out of foul trouble being at the 5? But we'll see. But yeah, she's excited about it. She's been doing mostly all summer and fall here going for working out at the 4.
You mentioned Jasmine a moment ago. How does her role change this year, and how much more comfortable now is she in her second year?
Well, I think she's a lot more comfortable. I really do. Jasmine worked hard this summer. She understands what we expect now a lot better, and I think she'll have a much better year. She gives us that shooter out on the perimeter. She really does. She gives us that shooter out on the perimeter that can really stroke the basketball. Now, again, all these players, it all boils down to defense, and that's what these young players and these new players need to understand. These transfers, that you have to play defense.
Well, one we haven't mentioned here, you got an Oregon State transfer, played the Pac-12. What do you see from her?
She's had a couple. She's been out of practice here or there because of illness and all that. So I think we recruited the heck out of her out of high school. She ended up going to Oregon State. So we were aware of what type of player it was. When she came available, we really wanted Savannah. So we think she can help us too. She's a tall guard. She's 6 foot guard that can finish at the rim and all that. So we really think she can help us too.
You got, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, John. How will the power dynamic change in the Big 12 with all the changes that are happening? I mean, is the league going to be maybe more open than it's been in a while?
Well, I think Baylor still has the edge right now. I mean, they have Smith, which is probably going to be #1 draft choice in the WNBA going into next year. They have the size. They took Oklahoma State's, I can't think of her name, best scorer. Asbury transferred over to Baylor, which gives them a all Big 12 first team guard on the perimeter now. So I think they're going to be very good. Iowa State returns everybody and had players come back for the extra year. And I think the league's going to be better this year because a lot of them players came back. A lot of the top players came back. The ones that weren't going to be drafted one or first round or second round, all of them came back, which is going to make the league that much stronger.
It's not pretty common to poach players within your league, is it?
No.
It raised some eyebrows among the coaches a little bit.
Yeah. If you look at Oklahoma State, this is the second time that happened to them.
Wow.
2 years in a row. But that's the world we live in now.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be common. It hasn't been common, but it's going to be common. That's the world we live in.
Texas Tech too, right?
Yes.
Heather Greg, I think, went to.
No, she's still there.
Oh, okay.
She's still there. Their best player returned.
Okay. I was saying their best. They had a player. Was it Vivian Gray, or did she went? Last year she
The
went.
year before she left Oklahoma State and went to Tech.
Oh, she went to Tech.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I got you.
Yeah, that was the second player I was talking
That's I
about.
got. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Along those lines, you talk to a lot of coaches in different sports today, and they say basically now you prepare for each year. Your long-term planning is out the window. You just try to put the best team you can on the floor each year and work off that. Is that how you view it?
Well, you have to. I said in the beginning we have 16 players.
Yeah.
Nowadays, when players aren't playing and they're not happy with the situation they're in, they're going to transfer. And I could be sitting up here again with a whole nother roster next year.
Right.
I mean, you just don't know. You just really don't know. So
But that's everywhere.
no, that's just not here. You're
Yeah.
exactly right. It's the whole country.
So you have to plan and work and do things based on, okay, what's best for this team right now and work
Right.
off that.
Exactly. And people have to understand that. The administration has to understand that. Everybody has to understand that. That's the way it's going to be
Yeah.
right now because of the new rule changes.
What's your challenge in trying to keep it all together and trying to keep everybody happy and to get that buy-in that, hey, maybe your time may not be immediately, but if you hang with this, good things are going to happen to you.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to try to do that. Definitely. But when it comes down to playing time and you get in the middle of the season and you're not playing as many minutes as you want to be playing, then that's when it starts creeping in. I mean, let's be honest. I can talk to them and all that, but the bottom line is they're not playing enough minutes. And, it takes a big person nowadays to accept that. It really does. That wants to go, okay, then I need to get in the gym, work on my game a little bit more. And then the coach will play me more. That's the mentality you want your players to get at.
Anything else?
It's obviously football driven, but I'm just kind of curious what your thoughts were on the Big 12 expansion.
You know what, I've been through this before with the Big East.
Yeah.
This is not my first time, so I just think it's just now starting. I mean, there'll be a lot of things change over the next 3, 4, 5 years. The teams will be added, drop, or other teams may leave, So I think it's just starting.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should, myself, it is what it is. We've been through this before. Let's just concentrate on Big 12 until we're not in the Big 12.
I'm wondering, obviously you guys already have, quote unquote, interesting travel problems within the Big 12. Adding BYU to that mix, have you guys even mentioned the possibility of saying, hey, if we're going to play BYU, it's gotta be like on a Saturday. I mean, we can't go to Provo on a Tuesday and get back home at, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean,
Well, that's, but really nobody cares. Let's just be honest, nobody cares.
We're probably looking at
Everybody
divisions
can't
anyway,
play
right?
them on Saturday. You know what I mean? So there's gonna be times we play them during the week, there's
Right.
gonna be times we play them on the weekends.
But you're going to be looking at divisions anyway, probably. So your
Yeah.
chances of them playing them is probably not every year anyway.
Correct. About like we did the round robin and
Right.
the Big East. I think that's eventually what'll come.
So the ads really help
The
you
ads help
travel-wise.
us with Florida, Cincinnati,
Yeah.
those type of teams.
Coach, real quick, we didn't really ask you about the freshmen. You've got some pretty good freshmen you brought
Yeah.
in. Where are they going to fit in? Have you
Yeah.
thought about that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're really excited about our 4 freshmen. I think all 4 of them could be really, really good players here. It's just going to be, they're just going to have to wait their turn a little bit, and that's the tough part right now because you don't, you want to keep them happy, but yet you got to win games, and not that they can't help you win games, but they're used to being the star, they're used to playing all the minutes in high school and all that in AAU, and then all of a sudden they come here, and it's going to be a process.
I'm looking at your schedule here. You've got some opportunities before you go down to that tournament in Florida to play a lot of people. You're going to force yourself to get a lot of people in there to try to get some chicken confidence.
Yeah, it's hard for me.
Yeah.
If they don't know what they're doing yet.
Yeah.
But I need to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we got a scrimmage coming up. I mean, it's hard to tell. I'd like to play about 3 games in one day.
Yeah.
Just to look at everybody and get them on film and do all that. So, I'm going to look at different combinations. I'm going to stick them in there in game situations and that, and then see where we're at.
I know this is a time where you teach and you're going to teach your defense and put all your philosophy in, but do you almost have to do some more squad scrimmaging to see who can play with who and how it all works? I mean, you got to have some cohesiveness when they're out on the floor together.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I've probably done more offense in workouts than I've had ever. I think you got to score the ball now. I think it's changed. You got to be able to play defensive rebound. You got to be able to score the ball. So I'm trying different combinations, trying a little bit, opening up the floor a little bit more, isolating a little bit more, going big, going small, that type of stuff. So we just got to see what's the best fit for this group. So it's going to be a process.
And mindset today, defense is related to scoring. If you're not scoring, then your defense usually lags, right?
Right. And you got to be excited about
Right.
scoring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to get people involved and all that. I think over the last 2 or 3 years, we've been more about the guard scoring, where I think we can score at the guard position with KK and Madison and Jayla and some of these new players, but we've got to score more in the paint. We got to get it in the paint. We got to get it in situations where we're getting fouled or we're going to the foul line or we're scoring and all that. We got to go inside out more than we ever did because we have the people to do that with. Simple like that. If we didn't, we wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But now you got to do a mind change with your guards because they're used to doing all the scoring. Now, even in workouts here when we go live, I've been get it in the paint, let them have an opportunity.
one more on expansion in a few years. I mean, obviously this isn't going to happen next year or anything, but when it does in a couple of years, would you miss that home and home schedule that you have in conference play now? Because obviously that's probably going to go away.
I'll be honest with you, I like the round robin.
Right. I think a lot of
the
coaches
round
do.
robin, the groups. It's hard, and then it opens up more. You can get some other non-conference games and all that. I don't know how many games we would play or what that would be. Not playing everybody twice, but I think it opens up opportunities for you to go out and play. I think if you look at our schedule, we're playing Purdue, Florida State, Kentucky. We're playing South Florida, which is a very good team. It's going to be nationally ranked. We're playing Michigan State. We're playing Kentucky. We're playing our non-conference schedule is very, very good. Very, very good.
It might be one of the best ones.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And some of the tournaments that wasn't supposed to happen, but some teams backed out. So your Power Fives are right now mostly who's going to these tournaments right now.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.